I'm unmuting you, you're live.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to look for approval of the agenda. We have a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Approval of the minutes.
Minutes are on the back side of that document, if you had not seen that. That is November 5th. Of the one of the agenda. Just,
Turn it over. Oh, you were reading.
Yeah.
Okay, you too. Do we have, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We don't have to do public input evidently, right?
I should have explained that. So your public input is only required on your regular meetings, and since this is a regular meeting time, you don't have to do it.
Okay. So we're gonna have an update on the mural decoration.
yeah, so, again, Susan, thank you. We saw you on the phone, so thanks for serving on the board. Steve, did I see you last time? I'm trying to. Yeah, yeah, so I know Steve and the rest of you are here, so I'm 17 days in, and that first week we packed in City Council, Foreign Policy Events and Festival Committee, Vision 2040, Hairball concert, and a Wesleyan alumni game all in week one. And since then we've kicked off a Wesleyan game, and we've had another Mitchell Area Concert Series event. So this is like a slack week. But I appreciate the board here, and we'll be quick and get you back to your work or your other project. But we wanted to give you an update, as we had said last time. But I thought it was important to give you a mural update, and I asked Jeff Hansen to, I don't know if he had met the board or knew who was on the board, or if he's been to these meetings, but he will be a part of these as we talk about the new decorations. And there's a reason for that. But I asked Jeff to be here because if you walked in or seen the murals, it's been a slow process. Lots of reasons for that. And some of it's, we had one of our decorators get in a motorcycle accident. He's been out for, it'll be a week today.
Full week, still waiting on results.
So he's okay, no head injuries, but he's beat up. It wasn't his fault. It was that accident over here in Lawler and Second. And just out enjoying the day, and someone went through a stop sign. So, and we had, you'll hear in the news, there was a death yesterday, sister to one of our decorators, a young person, tragic, MTI student, and so he's going to be gone and out, and then weather plays a factor. But good news is, I met our corn grower, Brett, yesterday or Wednesday. Lots of corn. He's been really responsive to Jeff on bringing what we need here. But timeline is we're going to push up against Christmas, and I asked Jeff if he could be here and just give a quick, here's where we're at, and kind of the days it takes for the murals that are left. So if you could do that, Jeff, that'd be awesome.
Absolutely. We're completely done with the front. We got the two big ones done that take about 11 to 13 days a mural. So we're on our third one. I'd say we're 25% plus in. We got most of the detail done. Then we hit the last 5 small ones. They should take a day and a half. They're very, very detailed this year. Lines about this big that corn doesn't fit in, so we're hoping the timeline will go on there, but figure about a week and a half of hanging those, and the last one should take 4 days as the MTI kids beat in the wall of yellow because our rye didn't grow in, got flooded out our last field. So we got a wall of wood right now, but our goal is before Christmas. I mean, I'm hoping Austin's back on Monday. He's waiting on some hospital results. And
Don't say his name.
okay.
Any questions for Jeff about the decorating? I have some ideas as we finish these, obviously, and say, because I'm like you, but there's murals for the tourists to see. There's murals there, which I really like the fact there's a mural there. We're putting up new murals and they change. I like that because there's murals there instead of bare wood for a long time. So how we can do that and not, tear off completely. And so we'll do some brainstorming, see if there's something we can do with the new grower that he might suggest. Everything from, can we split a bunch of corn and store it and keep it so it's dry, not too dry, and actually have corn from this year to use next year? It's a possibility. they used to keep corn in cribs, right? And if it dry, as long as you keep the rodents out of it, it would be fine. So anyway, some things like that. If there's no questions for Jeff, I'll let him get to his lunch.
Do we dry the corn, or does he?
We don't dry it at all.
Just
We,
roll?
we hope to get it in a perfect year, 50-40% moisture, because then it cuts perfect, rips, it doesn't blow apart, and you can really go fast. Right now, we're probably at 22 to 18%. So we got to soak everything we're going to hang the day before in our shop. Can't do too much or it starts sprouting, so it's a day ahead of time every day for when it's drier. We missed the moisture season this year because of weather, so it's a longer process.
It has been fun for me to watch that, but it's a lot of work. And you probably all know this, but you know, if it's too dry and you saw it in half, it's like shrapnel flying out of there. So they've got to soak that, and there's a fine line between too much and too little, so that it goes on well and doesn't rot beforehand. So, because when they nail it, it also will split apart and blow all over too. So, anything else for Jeff? Thanks, Jeff.
You bet.
Thanks.
Nice
Keep
to
up the
meet
good
you
work.
guys.
Stop again.
I will.
You'll be back when you start looking at designs.
And so you mentioned about the complexity as an example on the pheasant tails, okay? You know, literally when they're in the picture, but when they're drawn on the house wrap that they put them on, the feathers are about 1.5 inches wide. So the corn literally is wider than that. And then where the ring neck is, for example, it's about 1 inch is all. So you can't, they have to do different things. So, the reason it'd be important for him to see the design, not that we can't use those, it's just that we want to make sure that we can decorate them the way they're designed. Or if we can ask for some changes to make it a little bigger because of the medium we're using. So, anyway, that's your mural update.
Well, you too new here, but Stephanie, have we had any problems with Wesleyan designing or the new corn growers, everything gone?
No, I think actually the corn grower contract has been really good for the city and a lot more responsive to, you know, requests that the city's made for change or things like that. As far as Dakota Wesleyan and the design, I think just what Doug said, that having Jeff involved when you're actually looking at your first review of the design will help, because they've always had to make adjustments, even when it was Sherry doing the mural designs. Jeff or other crew have had to adjust on the go, but having some of that input during the design process might make it a little bit easier. I really had no idea until they had them all spread out on the basketball floor, and you look at how small some of those areas are. I don't know how they do it, so.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. So, going along with the decoration, the reason I gave you this photo, just out of the blue on Monday, had an inquiry, an email via our Corn Palace website from a gentleman who has 1,000 slides from his parents' cross-country trip from Indiana to Santa Cruz, California. And they stopped at the Corn Palace in 1948. And they took a color photo and sent it to us and said he's reaching out to places they stopped along the way. He was not even born at that point, but he thought we'd be of interest to us. So I thought, you know, it's a great picture. Just the cars, that car on the left is an exact replica of the one my dad has restored in his garage. It's a 1946 coupe, Ford Custom Deluxe coupe. It's exactly like that. It's got the stainless steel running boards and the hubcaps exactly the same. So I thought maybe you'd enjoy that. And we also gave it to tourism. They keep a log, because we do get requests for photos occasionally for different things. And we want to make sure the copyright is right. This is obviously a photo submitted. So that's
supposed to be Oscar Howell
designs. 48, I would have to, whether Carl Schultz or Oscar Howe. I think Oscar Howe, but I would have to confirm that. You see the font up the Mitchell Corn Palace at the top. It's you know, for that time period, it's pretty unique. It's a little almost hard to read, but you can see the color slashed through there. Those are small pieces that go in there.
Well, that's the actual corn, it's not.
You're right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So obviously a lot is different from Corn Palace to now. So anyway, that's your mural update. And anything else on murals? Okay, at that point we'll end.
Do we want a motion to go into executive session? All approved? Say aye. Aye. Again? Against, anybody against going into executive session? Motion